Alright, the 2014 Royal Rumble is now in the books, and let me say, as I think it's going to go down as one of the more controversial endings in Royal Rumble history. Not so much for how it ended, but by the way the crowd kind of took over, the way they kind of took over the Royal Rumble and they hijacked it for themselves. And, well, you only had 4 matches on the actual card, plus the kickoff match, which should have been on the real card itself. I think you could have made another, perhaps a tag team match or something like that, going to that kickoff spot. But as far as that goes, I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into this Royal Rumble review, starting with the kickoff match. Well, first I'm going to talk about the kickoff match, and I'm going to say this, that this was dumb to have this be your kickoff match. Now I get something had to be in this match, and it had to be in this spot, but why the tag team title match between Cody Rhodes and Goldust and the New Age Outlaws? Cody Rhodes and Goldust, you have they over the last 6 months they've been probably the best tag team in the sport. And then you have the New Age Outlaws, who are from the Attitude Era, and they're still pretty well over with the crowds of today. But I really did think this should have been on the regular show. You could have had a different match in this spot, maybe another tag team match or singles match or something like that. But as far as this match goes, it was actually pretty good. But it wouldn't surprise me coming from Cody Rhodes and Goldust and the Outlaws, and the New Age Outlaws win with the Famouser, and I have no problem with this at all. I mean, sure, it's nice that they mentioned that it had been since 1999 since their last title reign, which is almost, you're talking like 14, almost 15 years since the last time the Outlaws have held the title. But probably what's going to happen is I don't see the New Age Outlaws holding the titles very long. Maybe up until WrestleMania, where they'll probably drop them to the Usos or something. But so you got that, and then later on in the Royal Rumble match itself, well, you're kind of getting that teasing that they're gonna break up Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the Brotherhood, if you will. And I mean, even despite the tweet that Dustin Rhodes sent out earlier in the week saying he has no interest in fighting his brother, well, I think that might be a WrestleMania match. Alright, so then your first real match on the card, which I thought was the best match on the card, Bray Wyatt against Daniel Bryan. You know, I thought that, like I said, this was the best match, I thought. They certainly gave it a lot of time. Well, when you have only 4 matches on your real card, matches are going to get a lot of time, and this was no exception. This match went almost a half hour. And, you know, if you're going to have Bray Wyatt be a big player in your company, you got to get him big wins at Big 4 pay-per-views, and that's what he got here. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of Daniel Bryan marks that are going to be outraged over the fact that Bray Wyatt won, and he won 100% clean. But if you're going to have him take on your big players, like your Daniel Bryans, and maybe they'll have him take on CM Punk at some point, or even John Cena, which I will get to in a bit here. But I really didn't have any problem with Bray Wyatt going over in this match. I really did not. The next match I didn't really care about one iota. Brock Lesnar against the Big Show. And if you saw the beginning of this match, you're probably wondering, gee, is this a no disqualification match? Because Brock Lesnar just beat the absolute holy hell out of Big Show. I don't know how many times he hit him with a steel chair. I kind of lost track after probably about 25 or so, but it's probably a lot more than that. But if you're going to give Brock Lesnar a strong push towards the WWE World Heavyweight title, yeah, have him be dominant against a guy like the Big Show. I mean, he got him up on his shoulders and gave him the F5. All 500 pounds worth of Big Show, or however much he weighs now, I don't know, but sure, I've seen it before. At least he didn't do the superplex off the top rope to break the ring like he did in 2003. But I didn't think this was gonna be aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. But hell, Brock Lesnar went over big, and he should have. Alright, another match I didn't really care about a whole hell of a lot because I've only seen it about 4,000 times. And that's the Breakfast Club special, ladies and gentlemen. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship match between Randall Keith Orton and John Felix Anthony Cena. Well, if you know going in that the Breakfast Club rules over everything else, well, that's half the battle. And that's kind of what you got here. I mean, you had all sorts of shit going on in this match. I mean, especially with the crowd's chanting for Y2J, they're chanting for Daniel Bryan. Hell, they were doing that throughout the whole damn show. Not even just in the Bray Wyatt Daniel Bryan match. But yeah, Orton and Cena doing each other's finishers. And oh, lordy, lordy. Then you get interference from the Wyatt family towards the end of this match. Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, they're all attacking Cena. And then finally Orton hits the RKO out of nowhere and he retains. Probably the right thing to do, but you know Cena's not going to job 100% clean now, do you? Did you? You didn't think that, I hope. He only does that once a year, so if that, so. But I guess we know who the Wyatt's next opponent is going to be. And they're making Bray Wyatt out to be a big deal. Hell, he pinned Daniel Bryan clean 100% in the middle of the ring in the first match on the card. So, oh, he's going to go up against John Cena now. I don't know if that'll be an Elimination Chamber match or if that's going to be his WrestleMania opponent. So, well, as far as the Royal Rumble goes this year, I was kind of wondering to myself, who's going to go the furthest, and like who's going to return, and what kind of impact Roman Reigns was going to have in this match. And you know what? I think all my answers all my questions were pretty well answered in this. Number one was CM Punk. He won a hell of a long time, as I knew he would. But number two, Seth Rollins, he won a hell of a ways. Actually, all three members of the Shield went a good long ways. But I think obviously the MVP of this Royal Rumble has to be Roman Reigns. I mean, I thought he would have a huge impact on this. Perhaps challenge Kane's record of 11 eliminations from back in 2001, but hell, he went above and beyond. He set the new record. He broke Kane's record. He got 12 eliminations, including the other two members of the Shield. And you got that tease going on again, where I'm thinking you might have something like you had with Legacy back when was it 2011 or maybe the 2010 WrestleMania, where you had the triple threat match between DiBiase and Cody and Randy Orton. Think what you might have here at WrestleMania. This might be the way to break off the Shield. Have all three members go on at it. But this was a really star-making performance for Roman Reigns tonight, I tell you what. And as far as like the surprise entrance, really didn't have a lot that were really surprising. You got the return of Sheamus, and he got a pretty nice pop, which is good. It's good to see him back. You got Kevin Nash back in for no good reason, other than the fact that he's one of God's good friends. Hell, you even got an appearance by El Torito, for God's sake. That was some funny shit. I fucking marked out when El Torito come out there, and CM Punk's kind of sitting there, and he's just going... he's about ready to start busting a gut, and Torito's going after him, and Punk's got his hand up there, and he's trying to fight him off, and... oh, that was funny shit. Hell, he even eliminated Fandango, for God's sake. That was funny shit. I was pretty disappointed. Well, we got no return of Y2J. We had no Jake the Snake Roberts. Hell, JBL was even in there for maybe about 5 to 10 seconds after he got eliminated by Reigns. But JBL had never been in a Royal Rumble before. So says Michael Cole, and yeah, I believe that. So, but really, what it came down to is, I mean, your final 3 in the ring were Sheamus, Breakfast Club member, Batista, Breakfast Club member, and Roman Reigns. And you come down to Batista and Roman Reigns, but there's one glaring omission. No Daniel Bryan. No Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble. What in the fuck was WWE thinking? Unless they were just trying to keep him away from this. Another instance of the Authority keeping Daniel Bryan down or something, but it comes down to Roman Reigns and Batista, and if you know anything about the WWE, is that the Breakfast Club rules over everything else, and that's exactly what you got here. They didn't bring back Batista 6 days ago to be a mid-card chump. Hell, it doesn't matter that Batista's 45 years old. He's a year younger than I am, but he's still a member of the Breakfast Club, and he wins his second Royal Rumble, and that crowd was absolutely pissed. I mean, they were cheering Roman Reigns when he did his spear on Batista, and not Batista's. They were booing the shit out of Batista. Hell, Rey Mysterio came out number 30, and they were booing the shit out of him, probably because it wasn't Daniel Bryan. And Rey Mysterio never gets booed, but anyway, Batista wins the second Royal Rumble, his first in 9 years since 2005, and that's about it. Ooh. As far as my final thoughts on this, the end of the Royal Rumble, I mean, I've never seen a crowd shit on an end of a Royal Rumble like this. I mean, when your most over babyface, Daniel Bryan, is not in this, oh God, that's just mind-boggling to me. Unless there's something that happened in the Bray Wyatt match that we don't know about, but still, Daniel Bryan should have been in this match. I don't care. I'm sorry here, but then the tag title match should have been on the main card. Outlaws winning. I'm not surprised by that, really, because it's a couple more friends of Triple H. And then obviously my top match of the night was Daniel Bryan and not Goldust, but Bray Wyatt. That was by far the best match on the card. Brock Lesnar and Big Show, it was what it was. I mean, Lesnar has to look strong. He should have been dominant in this match, and he was. Then the Orton Cena match, I've seen him tons of times. Hopefully this will be the last time for a while. And then Batista won in the Royal Rumble. They just pretty much shit all over it. I won $30 off of it because I had Batista in the Rumble, but I probably would be happy to give it all back to have Reigns win it, because he was definitely the MVP of this Royal Rumble tonight. That's exactly it. I'm gonna be interested to see what happens on Raw tomorrow night, especially if the Shield, and especially what kind of reaction Batista gets, and how big the Yes Movement really becomes with Daniel Bryan.